Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to all my lovely regular viewers, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. So this is the set that I'm going to create in today's video, and I thought because we've been having so much lovely weather that I would do kind of like a beachy mermaidy set. So instead of using glitter bells for this tutorial, I'm going to be using CJP. So starting out on the ring finger, I have applied Glitter Bells Extreme Coffin Tips as I wanted the nails to be really long. So I'm starting out with Slush Fairy, which is a cover pink, and it's one of the core powders from CJP. It has glitter through it. The colour is kind of in between Pink Opal and Plush Cover for all my Glitter Bells users, and it's absolutely such a gorgeous colour, but the glitter in it is a little bit chunkier than the Pink Opal shimmer, but it gives a really lovely finish. So on the ring finger, I'm going to do an extended nail bed, but I'm going to use my deep smile line cutter, and that is going to do all the work for me. So you can see I'm just placing it on and just pushing it forward. It's a little bit easier when you're doing it on a client because the nails aren't going to come out, but on this little hand, I've been trialing this little hand because I was considering, putting some hands on my website, but having used this hand for a couple of months now, the quality isn't in it, and I'm just not overly happy with it. So at the minute, no, I'm still on the lookout for a really good practice hand that I will be able to share with all of my lovely viewers. So moving on to the pointer finger, and I'm going back in again with this Slush Fairy. So I'm not going to do an extended nail bed on this one. I'm just going to do a diagonal cut, and then I'll fill it in with all the different colours as I go on. So onto the little finger, and this is going to be, it's not really going to be a marble nail. It's almost going to be like a water wash nail of all the different colours kind of just mixed in together. So I'm using a range of different colours, two new ones to me, which is Blue Hue, and these are all from CJP, and Apple Shine, which is this one here that I'm using. It is very similar to the Tiffany Teal from Glitter Bells. I would maybe say it's a little bit more like the Moon Jelly though, because it does have a shimmer through it. So there are two new ones for me, and this other blue that I'm using is of course Periwinkle, and the pink is Tooth Fairy, which is one of my favourite ones from CJP. So as you can see, I'm working really wet, and I'm just kind of blending all those colours together. There's no set pattern, I'm just placing the colours where I feel. But because this is going to be like a mermaidy set, I am going to give it a pearlescent finish. Just to finish this nail off, to give it a little bit of glitter and some of that pearlescent. So I'm getting in with Supernova, which is a really gorgeous glitter from CJP. It does have like a pinky tone to it, so it's fantastic to use, especially on a nail like this. And then I have used my monomer, and I've just wet the whole of the nail, and I'm getting in with these Brill Bird pearlescent flakes, which really just give this beautiful pearlescent finish to them. Moving on now to the middle finger, and this is going to be an ombre using the colours that I've used on the little finger. So I'm going in first of all with Periwinkle, and I love Periwinkle because even though it is a gorgeous blue, it doesn't marble, which is one of the things I love about a lot of the CJP colours. But Blue Hue does. The new one I got, it really does, and that has annoyed me a bit, but they don't marble half as much as the Glitter Bells do. So anybody that knows me, whenever I'm doing ombre nails, I prefer to let the colours start to cure, and then I'll go in with my next transition colour. So I've moved on to the thumb, and the thumb and the little finger are going to be exactly the same. So I'm going back in with my really wet beads, and I'm just going to blend them all together and finish it off with some of that Supernova glitter and some of the pearlescent flakes. I have absolutely loved working with all of these colours, especially when I've done the little finger and the thumb. Just seeing all those colours blending together, it's almost like a tie-dye look, and oh, it's just such a nice effect. And then again, just to finish it off, just in with some of the Supernova, and then I'll wet the whole of the nail, as you can see, with my monomer, and that's going to help those little pearlescent flakes just stick to the nail. And then of course I will go in and cap with glass slippers over it just to seal everything together. Back to the middle finger now, and then I'm going in with blue hue. So this is where you can see that it marbles. It's such a gorgeous colour, and I was so disappointed whenever I found out that it marbled. But yeah, it's just going to be a case of playing with it and adding a little bit more just to try and hide some of that some of that marble. Why do they marble? So there, I just went in with some more of the Periwinkle just to try and blend it in a little bit more. And now I'm going in with the Tooth Fairy, which is the gorgeous pink. It's the most gorgeous baby, beautiful pink ever. I absolutely love it. There's nothing like glitter bells really like this. And it just goes on like butter. It is such a gorgeous cut. And of course it doesn't marble, which is even better. So to finish it off with Slush Fairy, just to tie all the nails in together, I'm just going to blend that over down to about half of the nail as well. So I'm carrying that glitter from the Slush Fairy on down the nail a little bit more. In some more with some of that blue hue, which you saw me give it a little swirl first to try and get rid of that marble. And now I'm going to move back to the ring finger. So I used my cutter, and now I'm going in with my hand file just to crisp up that smile line. There's not an awful lot to do because really the deep smile line cutter does it all for you. And while I've got my hand file in my hand, I've moved on to the pointer finger, and that diagonal cut that I've done, I'm just going to crisp that up as well. So removing all the dust so that none of my acrylic gets contaminated, I'm going to go in with Tooth Fairy to that diagonal line, and I'm just going to create a series of diagonal colourful lines the whole way down that nail. In now with Periwinkle, and I'm just pushing that up against the Tooth Fairy and going to do the same diagonal line as well. So to split the coloured lines in between, I'm going in with Slush Fairy again, and I'm just creating a triangle with a diagonal cut to one side as well, and then I'll go in with more of the blues. So I'll be using Blue Hue and Periwinkle to do 2 more colourful lines. So to get a nice straight line this time, I'm getting in with my little craft knife, and that's going to give me a nice sharp free edge that I can butt the next colour up to. So in with Blue Hue, and then again with my little craft knife just to cut a nice sharp edge, and then the next colour I'll go in with will be Periwinkle. So even though Blue Hue and Periwinkle are completely 2 different shades, whenever I'm seeing them on the video here, they kind of just look like they're blending in together, but when you see the nails, hopefully whenever you see them at the end, you'll be able to see the difference in the 2 colours. But now that I've got the Periwinkle, I've cut again with my little craft knife a nice straight edge, and I'm going to go back in again with some more of that Slush Fairy, and I'm going to create another space in between the next set of lines. So in with the Tooth Fairy just to create the last set of lines. So I'm just butting that up to the Slush Fairy, and then I'll go in with my craft knife, cut a nice clean edge, and then I'll go back in with some more of the Periwinkle. Now that I've finished all the colour block lines, I'm just going to finish off with Slush Fairy, and I'm going to bring that right down towards the free edge. Sometimes because I use so many different brands, it can take me a couple of seconds to remember the names because there is so many colours and so many names to remember. So sorry if I hesitate before I say the colour, it just takes my brain a couple of seconds just to process it. Back to the ring finger now, and in with Periwinkle just up around the smile line. I'm going to bring it down not too far because I want to ombre this nail, so you can see I'm fading that Periwinkle out, and then I'll go in with the blue hue and finish off the opposite to the middle finger. So I'll finish off with the Tooth Fairy. Now that I've got all the acrylic laid down, just to add a little bit more to this nail, I'm going to end with some more of that, those pearlescent flakes. I cannot say that this day. Pearlescent flakes from Brilbird. So to create the kind of mermaidy beachy theme on this nail, I'm using my 3D molds, and this is just white gel polish, and I'm just painting it on. There's, you know, you don't have to be too neat because I'm going to use my scraper just to scrape it off as if you were using a stamper. So just scrape it off, give it a wipe, and I'm going to cure that in my LED lamp for 30 seconds. So now that I've cured it in my lamp for 30 seconds, I'm taking my pointed tweezers and I'm just going to lift it out of the mould. So I'm going to place it up against the nail and to see where I need to cut it. So because it is quite long and I'm doing it on a diagonal, I'm able to get maybe two rows out of this, and then I'll go in and I'll make another 2 rows of this little netting. So I could go in and use like netting fabric, but I just thought I would use something different, and I really like how doing it with the gel polish just makes it so bright. So just to stick it to the nails, I'm just using some of that, it's like gripper glue, but it's the Glitter Bells one, and I can't for the life of me remember the name of it. Oh my goodness, what is it? Oh, I've lost it completely. So just in with some more of the gel polish just to create some more of that netting. So you can see it does give you a little bit more of a brighter finish than if I was to use the netting fabric. I think it's just for a really beachy set. I think the little 3D molds are perfect. And of course, as it's a beachy set, it just wouldn't be complete without any starfish or some seashells. So the other gel polish I'm using is from Bird, and it's part of their brush and go system. And I'm just going to fill in the little shapes on my mold, and then I'll pop it into my LED lamp for 30 seconds. So same as before, just using my pointed tweezers just to lift it out of the mold, and then using the glue I'm going to adhere it to the nail as well. Before I go ahead and cap all the nails in the glass slippers, I just want to make sure that the colour block lines that I've done are really nice and crisp. So I'm just taking a coarse sanding band and going over all those lines just to make sure that they're nice and crisp. So now all that's left to do is to go ahead and cap the nails in the glass slippers. So for all of you that you may have noticed that little white shell at the free edge is now missing, I decided to take it off because it did sit up quite raised and the mold was quite deep, and I thought to encapsulate that the free edge of my nail would have been too thick, and I hate thick nails. So I'm only going to show one of the nails being capped just to keep the length of the video down. I am also going to keep out the filing and shaping as I never like the videos to be too long for you guys, and I'll come back after I finish capping this nail. So now that all the filing and shaping has been done, I'm going in with some of this little striping tape, and I'm going to go along the colour block lines and just add some more detail to them. And then I'm going to finish the rest of the nails off by using some rhinestones. So I'm going to let you just go ahead and watch me apply all of this, and I'll come back at the end. But before I go ahead and put my rhinestones on, it's top coat time, so I'm just applying my gloss top coat from Beauty Luxe, and we can see especially those pearlescent flakes start to come to life. And of course the top coat is going to seal in my striping tape as well. So as you can see on the bottom right hand corner of the screen, I've already laid out the rhinestones in the pattern that I'm going to apply, and that's just going to save a little bit of time. So this is just going to go directly down the center of the middle finger, and then on the ring finger and the pointer finger I'm just going to do a rhinestone cuff. And here is the finished set. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up. Thank you for everyone who has been watching. And if you are new to the channel, why not hit that subscribe button and you won't miss any more of my videos. And I will be back with another video, so take care. See you soon. Bye.